na sawote konkoya na trasa samaba na sawote konkoya na trasa samaba
aya mo ofaya sane mani ade bobiati oba ne wan ye ni aka obe ni yesusu na waka na this government dey anya kula
sawote konkoya
na chese ofaya
ye fire no pay wo Dwabo Ase wo power 97.9 wabra ye bebo ye Tonton Sansan mami twamfoni we nkyerɛw medical catch us sabra ye kasa ye Ghana ya ye tie a ye hwɛ animu sɛ empuntuo bi bɛba dabi no sabra ye kasa yi how are ye wom ebi ni sɛ sa wo ye breadwinner ema abusuani bi a na sɛ abusua bi a sɛ woni ma me catch wan kasa so wobenya ntobo ase na wa sese esusu ahwe sika wa say over the period a wonni sa ehwehwemu we ebe ya adwen the breadwinners omo mutai akomabo sika ene sika wo mu bayi say ye de kwa akoto aduane no akosoro by 500%. Ene Ghana ya ye ka ho asemi e rank amongst the top 5 countries a e wo wiase a ye kasa nuane bo etese ya e wo soro pa amama hodo ewo animu amama hodo enum ewo wiase no na dikai amama hodo enum a edikai wo wiase afana nyina aduane boye den pa wo ho Ghana eka first 5 no o my Ghana ya ye ka ho asemi hwe koko board anka hwani a wono wote ni koko aduane koko eti ehata ni koko nanka koko no eka nuane ni bia ye gina so a ye de kwa amanfo man so hwe sesika ebeba kurom ha no koko board na eye sa adwumakuo na ebehwe sesa empuntuo yi bekoso no eka nko no mabo efri 2017 ebesi sa afia ye kasa hwe 2017 koko board ne losses na ye 395 million 2018 na ye 78.2 million 2019 320.6 million 2020 426 million 2021 2.4 billion 2022 3.2 billion yo let's just say a free 2020 no that was the last time losses no na ye in million after equal 2021 na dane ba billion 2021 2.4 billion 2022 3.2 billion 2023 4.2 billion what can you na bo ma yene nam 13.62 billion and 13.62 yeah 13.62 billion a car a daho cocoa board a yen na this was abre no cocoa board na ye dwumakuo na aban dwumakuo na e wo se hwe na cocoa no yate bebre na mfasodie abama o my Ghana said be ya ebebe abeka sika dodo a Ghana benya no ono bomu boka and for the first time so unima the afi da wonti Ghana nsema for the first time wo Ghana bakwasemu Bank of Ghana ye adwuma boka for the first time and Bank of Ghana wabro behwe so ye adwuma na wahwe said be ya banking and financial sector no nkoso bekoso no ene de eye na de hia wasabre ya ye da akwawe so ene so obetam sikapuduo se wakohu ayi Nigeria for Central Bank wo mo headquarters e wa Abuja no hu ye no said ye sitie ene said ye si ye fenti wa hu nti wo sibi e wo Ghana sabre enti ene se wonenam Babia Rich Hospital Greater Accra Regional Hospital no wona wo don sa hwe wo nchemu ho a wo si ye kukuru dankase bia da bia kwa na ekosoro Bank of Ghana ya e wo se na dwuma hwe e ma ye sidi ahoden no etibi gina panya emfasodie wo no wa bro mo dan na ekosoro no na o my Ghana sika ye fre no sidi no na hoden no eti abafom wo Ghana no enu ni o wo Ghana na ne mampanyi ye nanado danko akufuado na bedi e kire ye Dr. Mahmoud Baumia ne ye sika sam ho nsem a wode dwada num ye hu dede ebra no wo opposition dan na di se wono ne betima hweso amena gina ye no na wo dwane afri ho no ene tibia no na mede kire no tabra ye kase enkoda omo mfitiase suku for the past 6 years ni wɔn ne nwoma ahua ɛwɔ sukuu dan mu nwoma a wɔn bɛnya ɛde asua adeɛ wɔn bi Ghana tebea no ɛna afei nso ɛyɛ ɛba kɛtasesa ne prɔyɛ a yɛyɛ ho dede MPP ɛyɛ ho dede wɔ opposition ɛnɛ adokoro aban yi te sɛ de akwadaa akɔte nkubɔdewa ɛde asada ne ho kɛtasesa ne prɔyɛ adokoro aban no te sɛ de akwadaa akɔte nkubɔdewa ɛde asrasra ne ho saa na ɛteɛ to the sense sɛ n'ano PDS asɛm yi baa yɛ yi enyinaso anka yɛbɛgyina so na yɛde ahwɛ sɛ de bɛyɛ adwumakuo a ɛyɛ frenchim ɛna yɛde saa adwumadie no bɛhyɛ ne nsa no the vice president of the Republic of Ghana ɛsɛ sɛ saa nyinasoɔ no ɛma ne kɔyɛ nyinasoɔ hatahata ɛmia bɛnya adwumakuo bi a yɛfrɛ no PDS ɛma ne bɛbu ɔman yi ɛde atima ɛde ne ho akɔ free wabere asotwe bi amaayɛ maame sɛ nsi so bio kɛtasesa ne prɔyɛ ko a yɛntimi nkunti asɛ yɛ aprɔ to the sense sɛ yɛ vice president ɛnɛ wabɛgyina yɛnim sɛ yɛmfa tumi nhyɛ ne nsɛm wɔdi mu akotene to the point sɛ amanebɔ bɛdan ne ho adi sɛ PDS asɛm yɛ ɛbaa yɛ yi enyinaso anka ɔmbɛtumi di akyerɛ a ɛbɛdi adanseɛ sɛ wɔyɛ adwumakuo a ne mu oduo no vice president ɛsesa no ɛkɔfa enyinaso hatahata bi ɛma ɛnam saa nti yɛbɛnya PDS ɛma ne bɛbu ɔman a wɔaseɛ sɛ wɔde ne ho Ghana ɛna PDS wɔde ne ho watete mu free wɔkɔ wabere asotwe bi ankɔ soɔ so think about this tebea yɛ a yɛwɔ mu any car abɛda ɔman Ghana so to the point sɛ ɛnɛ yɛntimi ntua yɛka ne nyinaa ɛda yɛ soro no yɛto ahyɛ da yɛto de kɔ 2025 2026 2027 sɛ saa bere yi woyɛ sɛ wowo so ɔman Ghana na wode da bɔ ban ho apɔnkye no sɛ wopɛ wo sika woyɛ dɛ a mogya na ɛbɛpiram ne kwa fisɛ Kwame ahia wɔne hwee de ma wo abɛn a ɔwɔ opposition wɔkaa sɛ sika no wɔ ha wɔnim baabi a ɔbɛhunu ɔbɛkɔ akɔfa sika no ɛde asiesie man no ne tebea nie to the sense sɛ yɛadeka to the point sɛ amanfoɔ no ma ɔmabrɛ a ɔmasom ɔman Ghana ɔmakɔ ɔma homegyea mu wɔn sika kakrawa a wɔn de bɛyɛ investment mpo aban bɛgyina so ɛde bosia bɔ kwan so ɛbɛgyina so hwimfiri wɔn nsam ɛbrɛ so sɛ wɔso wɔtua wɔn ka no wɔntumi ntua wɔn ka deɛ ɔyɛ ne sɛ wɔfa yi wan ɛna ɔde yi wɔn sakora head cut ɛma for the first time wɔman Ghana bakwasɛm mu mmere wɔn ne yɛn nkɔkora yi ɛkɔtena finance ministry for days sɛ yɛmfa wɔn sika ma wɔn ɛbɛdane tomamento wɔ Ghana no ɛno nie so within all this situation na kanea dundum asa abɛka ho wogyiri sɛ mpanimfoɔ wɔn dwen yɛn ho na wabere a yɛdundum yɛ kanea no nso fa nkyerɛmu bra tie nkyerɛkyerɛmu bi a wɔde ma sɛ yɛ transformer no load na dɔɔso wɔ so eti yɛyɛ nsiesie ɛwɔ over 560 transformers ɛno nti na yɛdundum kanea no na nkanea na yɛdundum no yɛbɛdum no nɔnso akɔsi anadwobrɛ du baako ɛno koraa no saa time na ɔma hyɛ no ɛnɛ sɛ wohwɛ kanea dundum na it is not within that time frame yɛtumi dum no nɔnan yɛtumi dum no nonum yɛtumi dum no anɔpa nondu yɛtumi dum no anɔpa nonsia yɛtumi edum no ɛyɛ awiabrɛ mu nɔmmiɛnsa eti na obusa ho sɛ saa nkyerɛkyerɛmu na ɔmo de bae no na asekyerɛ ne sɛn ɛna nkyerɛkyerɛmu no so ɔmo de bae no so ɔmo ankyerɛ da kora wɔn de saa nsiesie no bɛba na wie yɛ ɛna wabere ɔmo kyerɛkyerɛ saa deɛ anim nso wɔn ne wɔn te hɔ ɛwɔ mmarahyɛbadwafie titiri deɛ ɔmo dɔm kuma no aba abɔnten abɛka sɛ ɛka a mo de independent power producers ɛne ka ahodoɔ ɛda hɔ no ɛno na nam so nti a wei aba eti ɛnyɛ kwa sɛ nsɛntwɛni baa nanama ɛgya ako ɛbɛtena sum mu wabere mfifire te no na wɔgyina saa nsɛm yi a mabobɔ so de akyerɛ wi akyerɛ sɛ abɛn anim nkɔfoɔ no ɔmo ni adwempa ɛde ma ɔman Ghana hwadeɛ wɔ ne tie wɔ ma me
ɛkasa ban wɔ yɛ useless ana mo buofo na mo ni abere ɛno aba this time mo dum light around 1 AM in a light by and then must also dum light so meaning say and then light never by 1 AM me boa what about me vice president presidential candidate ma MP why desperate when you have big Jessica, Emma suffer any opinion leaders will run as on your campaign. But more lack ideas, knowledge to fix crisis mess and one customer creating. We had the day, lights. And I'm there, sir, video we see. More for timetable, may and you time I'm bedroom like some ambassador like I'm also monka. And surely a question is to come when we are in a mood to grab on change deceiving for. And when you said a Jimmy force you to do much into Mufis and one. Who won 9 months to election? When you have very president here, when you have very separate was mood breaking 8. Was Mufis animal kingdom. Crisis mess I'm creating one customer fixing him to me fix it. What better cania, one cania, energy. By former President Mahama, Omaga or Jagana Gapadi and Kania, a boom come the affair, said I'm catching Ghana for say IP, the PPS no, or sign him and a bosom. Intina Moko be more sporty because Mokoton BG Musica. One moon see school, one moon see hospital, one moon see airport, one moon see interchange. Former President Mahama, dear, or Yana Madam Sanen and Monsa. Mokoton near Manuswa. Sikana mo fancy mo wie bia de aka mo fan stabilize system ne mantima mo fo ho ntoye no so eno so kran so amonye are 8 years no see hospital no see school see dey komo kan ya waba beto obi a fix the crisis a waba beto manage ne stabilize system untimi nye na former president go for buy beto crisis a ototoa pipelines so sa free Ghana e ko Nigeria West Africa gas pipeline ya gas ni entimi nto obi bedi 8 years to a processing plant, gas, Ghana gas. Inya gas is the free one munya sempetua. And a mama na ye cut over $700 million a cut at the home. Untimin chia. No man ye, obishu do ya mapa, my baby. Dr. Bomia, when you have who giddy, what was it table then the president? And I would stress it at the man for. That simple problem, more creating and more fixing, Muntimin fix it. After my chocolate prempen apple, ya when you are bra wope.
The opposite, can you assume you say better with my but yen some na woman mamma masono. And Medoba qua baquasemu, and a baquasem bedi, minia ban and nama Jacobem. A permanent debim. Qua baquasema, who said your kind of pepe. NDC Bessia, and MPP bar was saying no. One more for being count. One wa dia wa hono wonye ni ye wo beto dia wa hono so no asai no wa jama NDC no akwatena opposition na wo de say tenetire omo so say wo munya adwuma na Ghana for so age atum ni asa de omaba no ma be sai no masa asa NDC asaba no masa opposition no de omo say tenetire NDC so that is their stock in trade de omo gira ma no hwa yanko abakwasem 2007 ebira na kania dundum no wo hono. And to say the Nanama Ejako Kaino. It's true. Before reaction and say, first reaction, yes, so I suffer no Mukogu Akoso Modam. No more mom pay and Yame. A homewa. Say Otradia Ponyamie, as your name, Tono, be a real man talk. Tabana Sonia will go chain a yet to your home. Tabana Sona will tell wow. No woman cannot grant in trouble. Ghana at 50. Sika dear cost at the expense of the taxpayer. Sabra anymore. And the only solution about John Ajekum Kufuor, MPP president at that time. President will free MPP Amanyokwomu or Kandinia or Baya Yaman Penya no free MPP Amanyokwomu. John Ajekum Kufuor. Agree a kabani trim. And I say, yes, so I suffer no Mukogu Akoso Modam. And so Kaya Sabrano, one more title daily graphic. Every day, near Akoso Modam water level, baby a drew. Baby a jina, near here and Zana, and one day net maba. I agree a kabako for trim. And I say, yes, so I suffer no Mukogu. No more umpire, no Yame, and be a remnant showing to be taught, and go Akoso Modam. Well, yeah. And to say the Nana Makan, true. You can verify. Well, it's a say the barefoot in the video, you know. I must say, what person will refer to BBSC in the past. It's very easy. You can Google it. President John Ajekum Kufuor to Amina at the pipe at Twasie. digidi ye pe jamframa e de free Nigeria ye pe jamframa e de free Nigeria NDC mo ba ye no mo hu se sa jamframa no atore ye nchem timi ka no te se de NDC apen so BBC ya enam so sa pipe ne paye na Ghana ehunu de onye no. What did NDC do? Wojina sa asem no so etu anamon eye tu abo gas your friend say Ghana gas buy. Wojina so say jaframa ya ye pray ho an ye nenam sa ayi drobe yi mu enante akọ Nigeria akofo mo de buy no. No, ye su ye nye die ni bi wo Ghana ha. NDC be ye. Look at the MPP solution. Number 1, asofo nko akosomo no mo ko bon paye. Number 2, yemfa droben ento amena yi mu na nante akọ Nigeria. Say Nigeria for benya gas amaye. So munya gas amaye. Ene ye hyebre no na ye de akọso Nigeria for nsem. Number 3, yenkwose semfidie bia. Tazan. Sa asam no wodwen ho aya na e ka wo because me te se nanse yan mu no na wo kasafa dumso ho. Me te se bra na mahama wa ba mu na wo kasafa dumso ho. Tazan. Wono so na da Ghana 50 anu no. Ensam hihye ho MPP ba mu a eno ma esi wo Ghana no. Eya na wodwene ho a wo nte ase. And MPP forward strategy bia. So mu di boni a wo mutimi dia card wo fa ho na wankasa boni no mudi no aye wakono. Omo strategy no. Wo di boni a no dia card wo no de nano afefa ho a echinchim nsem no atwamfonyi bi wankasa wutimi ho boni no wo se wow boni ye fe. Eno mu ne ewe. Ma Tazan kwose mfidie bi begu memu ase eno na yede ba be generate electricity egosi yesai anka eso won faso a keba ne sai na mills apen so through to Mahama apen so no na kane dundum sem no ewo ho ko pem say John Mahama ye na adwen say no me ena me ye leaders abrewe eti yan fa Ghana yan nyina Ghana fo di mo na yan ko pesika yan ko pemwa na yan ko pemfidia ebetima produce ebetima generate capacity edi amaye sada beya kane dundum semi etu betwa Mahama je asenue yi ede to no kon ho ene ebehwe na chimpre ye twa na chimba na chimba ni wabra ye twa na chimba ye tetu de so ntasuo nyina no na wokura asenua no se kopim se medu gogo ta no menyaye Mahama kodru ye ema wofiri aban mu ma aban we mu fo beka se Mahama akọ no wogya ye nyinam kane ahoɔden a ebuso eti de mo bato ye no mo ye ne den na sesei ye dundum ye kane rough na so muntimi ngintum se kane dundum a ye frɛ no dum so na aba kane dundum a ye frɛ no dum so na aba yentie ranking member ewo energy committee wo Ghana Mrasho Bedwafie kane deputy power minister eye Owura John Jinapo wabra no wo kyerɛ sɛ enoma bi sisa adaka mu aban we impese obedan na di e de akye Ghana fo efa kane ya ye dundum yi ho tie we
kane no majubia omudum na ye follow e di akira je reports I can confirm to you say ya air course no ye load shed na de friend dum so near dear Banny say, ye, if you know, the brower are buying into me and Mesca or a fan one. Your friend a light crude oil, distillate oil, heavy fuel oil. None I did do so number. You didn't know, never you know of it. Anywhere the debate for fan my infidiano I do. Nuntina no load shed no. Jinx mono na almost shed about 200, 300. Nedi almost shed is 600 megawatts. Nana Joe, so the mobile head being papa. This is ECG 4% or more cost a V. That's almost transformers. Now are you overloaded? And you're not correct. Transformers do not get overloaded overnight. Transformer, what is this work? For bank crash na overloaded na cost right. It takes months before your transformer gets overloaded.
You see, and yentia sa transformer overloaded asem na mo kano. Yen pese ye begia tum and he say, "Wa krata kro ye amode beto abonten no. Mine dan na di. Wada pote, ebre pote. Sa nsiesie na mo sie se mo ye no mo de beba awie ye." And once so am fa krata bi ama abonten am be kire say, "Was abre ya mo ye the so called nsiesie of transformers no." Say ni na was a Ghana for was obuhunu no mo don mo hoso wabra ye nsiesie no. One fan to yanim. And even for time now, much say, if we and you men on so, because you are not doing do baako, and I can't even be doing no. And yet, no, now, cost war, and you make Kwame Minkah and make out. What was shabbing on right? You do Mukanya around 4 p.m. So come and tell me if I'm lying. And now you do Mukanya around 7 a.m. Tell me if I'm lying. And now you do Mukanya around 8 p.m. Tell me if I'm lying. Basically, I no pay crowd. Tell me if I'm lying. And these are the people who are supposedly managing the power situation. These are the people who are supposedly, according to President Akufo-Addo, ensuring that Kenya and Bejinaso within the past 7 getting to 8 years. Frankwa, nada. And unfortunately, a man for no one says, yo, and a man for baby de kwa jumemwa, omo tinka wo mu video so ma bre. Eti how productive and as any akwe beye. Already ye sika samunye sika frapata. Sika any e bottom. Ahoden kakra no so a ye de ba sonson ye ho kopem said da pa bi beba no. And also magina kania dundum so e gie free ensem. E de akra na mo gie free Ghana for ho. What else do you want again? Makum ye sunsum. Makum ye da ye so. Makum ye nsase. Makum ye nsuo. Yes, your photo ahodo eda ho anke begina so e de asonson ye ho. Mawi mu nam nyina masese kwanse no kra no ya boni mu tokro. Na ye redie na aka na ye de benante kakra no so. Eno so mo fa kane dundum yi so. E je ya ho den. E de boni na Ghana fo aye baomia ene His Excellency Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. E de boni ni ayemo. And the Dr. Matthew Poku Prempa, where your energy minister, enemy yana say, Wabenante no lobby, so person where running mate. That's all he knows. And as a for one Ghana Hanoso, as some ye can 1212 be your jaika, and a master tribia quatswano, a home of the idea near a quatre. And there are some day nibble some 10 way. And there are some day nibble some and couldn't think it very innocent children. I will free suku mumba fee. Omo pekania e de ayo omo homework fun akwara yi beda sum wo hyew yi mu wo sabre awie ntimi gina so gan e hyew wo man yi mu etije owofo na wono so abre no wo gina ntentiri na wo hu akwara yi ho kopem se ade abeche boni ben ya yamo na sika kakra isu awo ho a ye de akoto electrical appliances ahodo a ewe ye fie enam dum so foi so pressure dum so nti electrical appliances no dodo na asese ogo pesika wa hen no de akoto fridge ogo pesika wa hen no de ato TV ogo pesika wa hen no de ato electric iron ni fifre kakra wo sam ye a wo ti de to electric iron what the dum so abesai no. So where is the justice? Why not this attempt in the Bama? Any acrono. Any acrona, you did not to sat to be a you. And Quadado so a Dutchin in your Mudiano so, Wabra must say or Mudachino. Sabre is so mutimono so, and also Mujoma one day. I could have been the classroom, what Tonkone. The Chenibia would hear me, who met me this dance and send me some message. I could have been the classroom, what Sabre Yimu, what Tonko. Why? Because and not shooting to went to me and Jina. Then you go so sad, Adia Chi. Your body show you a Bonaparte was said Natalia, your show go to school. The Kakra Bami Benya, and the man said, we are, and one from what I years to be crowned, and why you think. And upon all this, want to be Kano Crunch. Now, shall you be a sea woman, Rasebography, Mr. Wasibefem, Bra Facebook, Power 979, TVXYZ Ghana, and then Mr. Wabra Musha Jumedi, Munchana Swam, and Science War. Bishadi be see ye, I will Ghana Mrasha fee. Now, mammy and Rami bought the interview back with the channel. Tama mi kuro ya na na say was say wiase afana nyina sika sema say it is a Ghana bra eno no enya nwanwa. Tama mi ya wa bra na ye di dum so ho nkomo. Me nua Beatrice do TV3 ono na ye say interview no. A wo ka asem no. Na nra wa bra ye vet no e appointment committee. Honorable Abna was say asare. Wouldn't do ye? Was it dum so ya be? Illegal connection na akofa abo. Ye way.
Something that is also supported by the IMF, and they're also giving us technical knowledge on some of these things. And I believe that once it is complete, once we complete this plan, we'll be happy to share with the various committees and to also see how best you can all help us implement the energy sector recovery plan. But yes, it is a big issue. It is a big issue in the revenue and in the energy space that we need to look at. But Mr. Chairman, we also have to do our part. You ask yourself, ECG loses about 30% of the power that it produces. How does it come about? The illegal structures, the illegal meters and everything, and they are human beings who do these things. So in as much as government is doing its part, we as citizens will also have to change our attitude towards these things. And that is the only way together we can succeed and address these issues. Whenever your payments for electricity is due, I think you have to go ahead and pay. And not, sometimes we play on the minds of our people that yes, we don't have that money. It's this institution, it's that institution. But yet this, the power has been consumed. And so what do? We need to look at all these things and prioritize our budgets.
Joe Wise crying yanim, but Joe Wise in phone in the so. Because then Joe Wise says yanin, yeah, what's it? Then you know what he came. Joe Wise. Joe Wise cry. Are you confused? What your mommy came? What's it? Hey, that I'll be like a cow. Say illegal connection. Illegal connection. I can't be in Tina Yedundum Kania. Now, no, so Beatrice Aduba office. Abena, I know no Casano. So, see, we are seeing Fernandina, Sikasamunye. So, which is which? Global economic meltdown now. What creative what mutrimono? Imaginative global economic meltdown now. What creative? What mutrimna? Chinchina mo pese. But the share Ghana for minimum. No. And now say the Awokan and Ra. Our appointment committee say illegal connection and I cover do so yaba. Obu hunu Jomon can't check Ghana for. You see, Bibia Yehi. So be a wording here. Or Sansuya hand time. Obia wording here. I will hear more. I was some mammy man a betty show. Who hear more? What's I'm more betty show? I ya want to say ye. He said yes, he can for ye be. It's better no be a humobo. A bad day and a Ghana for Atimase a humobo. No crana monka. Mote no crano. And a mode and sembi mo chicham for nibi and justify bonibia my yet. And in all this was Sabreya a brand near MF and over there tabejina home. Yanim said, Yedi home, ya mind Ghana, ya MF for net and MF for China, yet I acquire no. And then they say Ghana, dear hono. Yentimina and can see the pea. Nanu ya anti-gay bill yi ba ye. Amrasha beja fo nyina ya na monsifo nyina gitumu. Semba ye mra ebejire tie se su no so disanye Ghana su so ba ni oba be ware be ma ne be ma be ware be ma be sori akase me dia me pesa me ye oba no akwa ayaresabia ne ye de ye nsa kika no ne adane no oba tuwa wo se me pesa me ye be ma ne wakwa ayaresabia ne ye de nsa kika no abeda ne be ma se su no ye se nye Ghana su ye mbe eye chi wade ye fa ye mra hye bedwafo e ka asasem no. Now me pese wutie Honorable Abena Osei Asare bio a what the revelation ke sie bi beto dwa e fa sa finance ministry memo no ewo anti LGBTQ+ bill no a buy in advance ansana mampanyi krampo e de nanu disem e beto dwa afa sa de hu ti asem bi a wo kafa no ye wi a ye bedi nkomo bi tie we
an internal document, and it remains so.
How can you confer that it's the same as the document she's saying it's in circulation?
Mr. Chairman, I cannot pretend and that I haven't seen it on social media. It is there, but like I said, this was our own internal arrangements. Like we every time talk about our expenditures and our revenues, where we feel we need to tweak the expenditures a bit, where we feel we need to use various measures to raise our revenues. And we cannot pretend that we never had sentiments right after the passage of the bill. And what we are saying is that as a ministry that is supposed to handle revenue generation, should there be any gaps in our revenue as a result of the passage of this bill, we are ready to do everything possible to close that gap with the measures that we intend to put in place. So it was an internal memo, and just like our meetings that we have every time, and we saw that on social media, Mr. Chairman.
Mamani kanche ansana me madwen abatato. The abren kaya ne se krata na ebeda abonten na no bi na making kind dia kire mo. Say omo ka say a certain 3.8 billion dollars. 3.8 billion dollars budget support bi. Ebetimi aboye every World Bank kono. Was it na ye omo no mu di omo ho nkomo. Na nya nkomo e wo se ebeda abonten. It's your more finance ministry, no. Yeah, I'm going to say, Bibi Saba. No more to think, Komobi, a cook swap to say, about your passing brano, then come on a cost one. A yano more share, Diomo bet my year. Say, Bedru say, I want you be bar, a dear you bit my year. Et in a year, omon temon como, and an anno mood ye. Sabel on your pass here, you bet my 3.8 billion US dollars a year budget support within the spread of 5 years. And I feel so now your muntam komo and I no moodie. Say by your day net so na say Ghana form peninsula. Say your friends say you bet me JJ man na say omunjin tum say sika bi aba boy enti me and sign bill na. There was some yan say omu di omu ho babo amama hodo a eje saa emra yi die. Na saa man no so abeboa ye. Eti wo say na your muntam komo. Okay. Say na your muntam komo we ya me so madwen kire. Sanaya montamu nkomo abene ene se kosi baabi esi na se wo se mampanyi wo ye bibi fa emra no ho cause se emra na beda nanim a edi enti na wo twentwen ne na se fisi ye nim abena wanso wonim se ye mampanyi kogina aso dem Anglican asoy eso se na pen so de be ma ne be ma nware oba ne oba nware eti di enti na wo twentwen ne na se ena abena wankasa ho so wonim. Muntamu komo ya na mudie World Bank any IMF omunka ne baabi ya se Ghana ehye mra bi saa na usika bi a wo pa free no no ebebo no abena wonim woni ami na nta munyina munim saa no kure no eti na ya muntamu komo ena nyame a won pe bone epia ba abonte ama ye nyina ya tibia say facts na bedadi Ghana fo na o ma ben omunim de no omuso ayo omunhwehwemu ena omuso de nokure no abetodwa eti nokure ne se ensem na amaka ni nyina ye nyina so a mosi anu nti mama mpanyin emfa ne nsa enhye emra nase no ni nyina abeda adi se nya nokure to give up na kache mampanyin bio se wa abrabo alternative se ye betimi de ho abo amama ahodo a omuso ahye sa amra no ne yeti akopam wafiri omo no kache mampanyin se won koso no nsai fi se hu bia ni ho esuro bia ni ho. So you see, when in PR, your friend, we are handling you and handling your friend, handling. All the omoye, a free bro mobile bemu or my PR sir, from free SHS to planting for food and jobs, and not crowd yet, brand a champ on the back of the shim, send up planting for food and jobs in tea. They said Dokno Boaba form. Brand a champ on Aquanin baby now, who said Dokno Boa. That could be this uncommon. They say, Pierre Nomaya from the very beginning, planting for food and jobs, one district, one factory, $1 million to a constituency. Because you almost flagship policies in Nara. And even the vice president, and now what didn't want to say, Mama, the crying number yet, Mampenino. One also saw Pierre, ya, Bianoye. And that is why wotimi nya kokodro etimi begina yenim eka se wono de wonye spare driver no emomo emate eti boni akoso bia no me yemfa so bone mo no yemfa so bone mo driver no yeah indirectly sana na no pa kire eti yenko asem yenchichiri asem yentwatro yendada Ghana for saa de no no ya within the past 7 getting to 8 years question is say ede na afri maba emfa so de ben na afri maba ede ama Ghana for the answer is 0 hwemaye empuntu aye hwehwe yensanka ye ayaresa bia wosi esie yensi ye akwan ya wosi ye maye yenye ye na fei ade anke betima gina so ede aka se ampampa Kwame Minkah se wodi tumi hye bibini nsa afei no oba ba kire so wotumi ye na ade no sa embre ya anke betima gina so ne ede ahye sa asem ni mu kena no ena ye mampanyi a wosi se nye na pen so ena gay sam ena lesbianism nsam ebesi no ena ye mampanyi ni pupuniti adaya asem bia enya nkoduru court nti adaya efutuo bia ne abenam yate ase se na ye omuntam nkomo enti what are we doing to ourselves esemi mashada na mi yato anim tumi ni sha wonsamo wa abena wutie nsemi eye tumi a obetima gina so e de atu anamo wo Ghana dimu ama nsakraya aba wonsom ni nipa yakwa yanim no yenko eni da so obi nso e wo ho empempi no say His Excellency John Dramani e kasa wona probomu a ya manfo say no ne nyina so wai e de na kire say ensem a wo ka nyina no ene bo a wo hye nyina no wo betima di so e bi kra book to be say after all or just 4 years ye beba 4 years ensem no so beba credibility nsem a wey and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama e ka tie wey.
The executive has been influencing the judiciary unduly. When I was in office, I never once called the Chief Justice or any judge to tell them what judgment to give in any case. I never did it. And I know Professor Mills never called any judge to say what the verdict should be. In this case, you hear rumors about, some people telling the judges, what kind of judgment to give. We should leave our judiciary to be independent, to use their own wisdom to determine cases, because that would improve investor confidence in our country. If investors know that if they have a legal tussle, a Ghanaian can call a judge and judgment will be given against them, nobody would want to come and invest in our country. And so I agree with you. And he says we should let the law work. When we have sat with you, we have done the LI you are asking for, we've done the Shippers Authorities law and strengthened it, given it teeth. I beg you, if it starts biting you people, don't come running to me and say, Shippers Authority has caught you for something and this and that and that. Let's strengthen the law, let's all abide by it. And I'm sure that if we do that, we'll all have a prosperous port, and a prosperous port is a prosperous nation.
And what's your semi or okay? Where you be paying a better wa bemu. You call for our power, almost all ministers. Bako, our deputy, now our deputy communications minister. The Dayasu Keke, Asema, a tribu pobi, Dayasu, Asem Keke, Piefri Nano, Obichigu, a Fidiesua, a beda, Casa Fidieso, and in Casa Funiso, or Jinasu Yinedi. Or Jinasu, a Yinedi. Etinyese Casabi Keke. Say one on waba or better say attempting ye besi. No, and ye casabi keke. Why you be paying? And what Dika was shouting was happening ya or opposition why ye campaign puno. What dine di what they to obi a trim say. Sembrane diwa. Member Jinamanim because we member a clearing agent. Was it Sembrano a diwa? Member Jinamanim say me be found. No, member a clearing agent. And me see every 2025 okono ye here leader wo bedwene se Ghana ni wo beye na ade se wo pe Ghana mpuntu ye here leader enye party nti e na wo aban mu enye party bidding e na oba beye wo beye Ghana for apede. That's the kind of leader ye hwe. And so far all the leaders o mayi omo apia bonten se wo mo pe etumidie no so far John Mahama and I dine a D1 and I'm on 2 and the Casamu, Say, or person what the Ghana, Equa Safa, Yensentia Bio, a better no worker Safa, Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Some come away here, Pastor was a what it Nientia was what bar, or best said, because a free Santini, baby, a Yejina. That be a home ministry, and say, one way queer for, but Kriano. A man saying, we are self and as I say, Kriano, a quananim. They say, Kriano, obey your business. Kriano, Yejina so, Eddie Nubayano, Gram feeding you, Emma, a producer, Noma, Masikaba Memu. I don't think that His Excellency John Mahama say, Waba, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, no, Nebutaya, baby, I wouldn't need to. And they said you will see any no one. A bessa. I didn't know Bessa Nidino. Away.
In agric is that we always give support to farmers to produce more. But when they produce more, that's all. We just abandon them to their fate. And so the middlemen come and buy the food cheap. The same food the farmer sells at a certain price, you come to the market and find it at 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the price. And that is because we've not developed the agribusiness and marketing chain. And so one of the new crop of young business people we're going to create are what I call agripreneurs, agribusiness people. We'll give them small machines so that they can process tomatoes, soya bean, they can mill rice and package it for the market. They can produce fruit juices for our shops so that we can produce more of the things we consume and cut down on the things that we import. And so the Ministry of Agriculture is going to be called the Ministry of Food and Agribusiness, because we want agribusiness to come out.
So it is not the change in name. It is not just what best Dino from Ministry of Food and Agriculture to Ministry of Agriculture and Agribusiness. No, it is not just the change in name. But I need triathlon so. But I need triathlon and Fasudia Babama, Pianino, and Fasudia Babama, Ghana, Baburuna, 1 year, you may be yeno. And Fasudia Subabama on mine, was Abreya, Yedrum Pempensua, Sika Fia Binti, Bronicoko Bijana, your como say, a Sultan Tabi, Yanjintum. Say, a be before, a baby mine, see a bad day, a quiet way, and your Fasu bit Mabua, I mean, a dear home. And John Mahama is walking the talk. And Penifo Pioma Bain, I was sick as some one. Danny Danina, Omoka same way. Free me Santini, Yaka same way, sir. And thank God, sir, in 2024, Wabra Yakwa Batuomo, Yenya Candini Bia, what would say, Sanu Crewe, Yejinasu di Tua Namoa, and Fasudia Bebamo, my Ghana. Yakwa and yet His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, no Casafa, is your one some Sabre Yakase, Yatuto a man for P pipe. Is your entity farmer for pipe? I won't cry. MPP are buying Casa Baby Benning in Etie. What do you mean in Amcanian in Aso? What do you also my ensure? The John Mahama Ekafa and show once and away.
Water as one of the sectors that we had to work in. And so from Professor Mills's time onto my time, we built the most small town water systems in this country than any government in history. We moved water coverage in terms of access to clean drinking water from 56% to 72% in the 8 years that we were in office. For Accra alone, we added 40 million gallons of water. And for those of you who live in Adenta, you remember that it is at that time that Adenta and East Legon started getting water for the first time in many years. I used to live in East Legon. I moved out because my tap didn't flow for 2 years and I had had enough, so I moved to Jowolu. So when I came, I said, no, I have to do something for those I left behind. And so we put in, we put in additional 40 million gallons. And what we did was we laid a new pipeline to bring the water through the northern part of the city. So the water came through Santon and all other places, came to Adenta, and then to East Legon, University of Ghana. All of them started to get water. In the last 8 years, this government has not added 1 drop to water supply in Accra. And recently I saw Ghana Water Company say Accra is growing too fast, and so they don't have enough water to supply everybody. And I said, you must plan ahead. Accra will continue to grow fast, but every government must put in additional volumes. so that we're able to keep up with the growth. So if in 8 years you haven't put in a single gallon of water, why don't you think that the demand would outstrip supply? Nowadays, our taps flow once a week, twice a week. Before they used to flow more regularly, but we shall correct that when we come. We would add additional water to Accra's water supply so that everybody can get water.
John Mahama say he's not just talking about the problems, but what you say problem kroya no etroye brand ye wa ba mu e de ne ye fa ho ye hwe se amanfo pi benya nsuo ye hwe se amanfo pi benya nsuo ye investment e was that area no and then de na ekọ aban we buy 1 drop of water kra won fa mai was also my kania enyina so eti was ba ni awoye no wo de be kom pempem so afoforo enye kasa keke o wadansidie de tre a obi abeti akọ verify mumu pi so ebeti medi ho adanse te say de mahu pi e wo your Facebook page ni so. Last one, the argument about the fact say John Mahama after all or just 4 years here your kafa.
He says 4 years is too short, should be increased to 7 years. Reverend, that one is not within my power. It's the Constitution. I remember President Kufuor suggested that the term be increased to 5 years. But when the Constitution Review Committee went round, Ghanaians were of the view that it should still be 4 years, because their argument is that if you make it 5 years and you have a bad government, 5 years is too long to suffer. And so the Constitutional Review Committee maintained the term at 5 years, at 4 years. But even then, if you want to change that, it is an entrenched clause in the Constitution. And entrenched clauses in the Constitution must go for a referendum. And in the referendum, not less than 40% of the electorate must turn up to vote. And out of those who vote, not less than 75% must say yes. And so no one party can change the term of office unless there's a consensus of all the parties, MPP, NDC, everybody says yes, let's extend the tenure. There's no one party that can do that. And for now, the Constitution Review recommended 4 years, that we leave it at 4 years, and the white paper endorsed it. And so even though you wish that it be extended, it's going to be something very difficult to do. But I believe that if we run the relay race properly, even if it's 4 years, we'll be making progress. If every government comes and does its bit, moves it to the next level, another one comes, moves it to the next level, it won't matter that it's 4 years. We'll make progress.
Asam na no. Sabai bia ba no ye na sade a, Ghana be ko nanim. Political party bia ba no ba ban mu, no be ye na sade, obeto nnwuma abanda da ye no to aso. Obeto no man hihye ahodo a abanda da bi de to no to aso, no ye bi de kanwa. Ghana betu mpon. Etinya 5 years, ana 8 years, ana 7 years term of office. Ye de be mo obi. Ene betimi di adani aba oman mu. So politicians, any political party, any mpanimfo nipa nyame abom wanwene mo de mato asase so no de sa kwanya ya mamo. Se munyina mo ba ban mu na mo beye nia eye masade a. Oman no betu mpon. When you masema maker, we are John Mahama asema wonka. And this is the kind of leader. Wade ne wa ba se Musama na kwanya bio. Na wo akoma pa wo adwempa e de ma oman. Adwen a wo ma man no e na ode ato yanim na yi. Digana ni wabra wanya sa information we wabra wanya sa asemi. Bidika kada ne dan nyina se knowledge is power. Sa bre ya wanya sa information we wabenya tumi bia e hye wonsem. Na obetimi agina so e de etu anamon ama oman Ghana asa fa ne ntema pefra. Joachim Utie will say, with 31 years experience in the public sector, no ministry can use internal memo to communicate to the presidency for the matter to the president. Mr. Subio, Joachim Ase, with the 31 years experience, our public sector, ministry be anywhere bet me the internal memo. Akasa ache mampenyi. Asamnesi Ah! She.
Maya. Ayo, and yo, yaya near woman. The Paso Biaba, a governor city. Now, assembly will be a walker. Never money a year. Consum. And some woman, for trouble, young family, for Sampa.